we're going to put the Berkey through its paces. We're going to test 3 different types of water and do a filter reliability test with our Berkey right here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to filter from our rain retention system. Then we're going to filter swimming pool water. Then we're going to filter water from the 55-gallon drum in my garage that's been sitting there for 5 years. And as a bonus, we're going to go down to the creek, get a bucket full of ditch water, and filter it through the Berkey too. I'll say this right now, I believe the Berkey is the best water filter system on the market. We'll find out as we get the results from these tests. I could be wrong, but we're going to find out. A lot of the reviews about the Berkey were from people who use it with their rainwater collection system. This is my rainwater collection system, one of them. As you can see, we got the pipe coming down from the roof into the catchment system here, and we have a garden hose hooked up to it. If you haven't seen my rainwater catchment system video series, please watch that. We get 1,600 gallons of fresh, free rainwater with 1 inch of rain. This is our first flush system that cleans out the sediment that comes off the roof when it first starts to rain, and then this is our catchment system here. A lot of people wonder how we actually know how much water is in here. Actually, it's very easy to do. We just turn on the hose here, and we will raise the water, or the hose, until the water stops. As you can see, the tanks are full. So anyway, we use this for drinking and for irrigation for the garden, and we're just filling up the 4-gallon bucket here. I'm going to take it in, and we're going to see how well the Berkey filters this rainwater. As you can see, it's very clean rainwater. Of course, we don't treat it at all when it comes off the roof, but before we drink it, we do put it in the Berkey. I'll let this finish filling up, and then we'll put it in the Berkey. Alright, we have our control bucket here. This is water from the garden hose, and this is the water out of the rain catchment system. You can see there's a difference in coloration. We're going to see if the Berkey takes care of filtering out the color and anything that's in the water that we don't want to drink. Here's our Royal Berkey. It's in our kitchen. It's on a 9-inch flower pot stand that my wife picked up at the store. We use the Berkey every day. It doesn't make sense to me to only drink good water in an emergency. We want to drink good water every day. So what we do is we take the water out of the faucet, put it in a gallon jug, take the lid off, and then we pour the water into here. It takes 3 times, and then my wife is a little bit shorter than me, so she just puts her fingers in here and she can fill the water. But I know when I fill up the jug 3 times, this holds 3 gallons and it's filled up to the top. When you do fill up the Berkey, you do want to fill it to the top so you're getting maximum filtration out of the filters. Inside we have 2 black Berkey filters. Those are the kind that I wholeheartedly recommend. Those will filter and purify the water. We've had this for about 6 months or so. According to Berkey, we should be cleaning the inside of this about every 6 months. We've never cleaned it so far, but as you can see, all it has is some condensation inside, and it's very nice and clean. So you can see inside of here, we're low on water. We can tell because on our little measuring indicator here, it shows that there's no water, so it's time to fill up. Okay, so I've got the rainwater retention water in there, and I don't know if you can hear it, but already you can hear it filtering through the filters inside and dripping down inside the filter. One thing I really like about the Berkey is how fast it filters the water. Another thing I really like about this particular Berkey is that it is stainless steel. I don't particularly care for how trendy this stainless steel is, but I really like it because no light gets inside of the Berkey, which means no algae growth inside of there in case the water's there for a long period of time. We go through the water pretty quickly. With my wife and me, we go through this every 2 days. With several of us here in the house, it seems like we're going through it more than once a day. So it looks like we're going to be adding a couple more filters so we can filter more water. We'll go ahead and let this filter through here. We'll come back here in just a few minutes after it's filtered through and see what it looks like and tastes like out of the faucet. Okay, it's been just under an hour. You can see here from where the indicator is how fast that fills up. It's one thing I really like about the Berkey is how fast it filters, and this only has 2 out of the 4 filters in there. So it looks like we've got at least a gallon here in it in the last hour. Let's see what it tastes like.
Tastes really good.
Tastes really good. And let me taste it here.
It doesn't have a taste. It tastes like Berky water.
Ah, it's the good Berky water. And I can see why so many people like to filter their rainwater through the Berkey. Did a great job. Okay, I'm down here at the runoff creek, overflow creek, whatever you want to call it. And as you can see, we've got water flowing through here. We've got several outflow tubes here. People say don't drink the water unless you know what's upstream. Trust me, you never know what's upstream. So you always have to treat the water, filter it, and purify it before you drink it. This is our next test for the Berkey. I did find a kind of a slow moving area here. There's some junk here, tarp or something, I'm not sure what that is. Kind of a deeper area. I see some little fish swimming around here. I've got my bucket, and we're going to go ahead and just take whatever flows down this stream here and put it in the bucket. And I'll do my best not to fall in. There we go. And I'm going to grab up, yeah, it looks like a good 3 gallons of water there. Okay, so this is what we have out of our local drainage. This could be from lawns, it could be from, it's certainly not sewer because it doesn't smell bad, but I don't know what it is. We'll go ahead and get it back to the house and run it through the Berkey. You can bank on the Berkey to not only filter but purify this river water here so that it's safe for you and your family to drink. In an emergency, whether you're camping or every day. Okay, I've got the lid on it and I'm ready to go. I do have to say I'm not too excited to haul this out to my car and take it back to the house. But that's something you might consider in having your own rain capture system so you don't have to go out in public, out unprotected, in a situation where it may be dangerous. There could be a pandemic, there could be bad people around. But if you don't have to go out off your property and you can store your own water, then you don't have to do this. And then you don't have to haul it back. You may not have a car to do that. I do today. But if I had to walk this back to my house, it would take me a long time, and I would not be happy to do that. Okay, we get it home. As I was walking up the ditch, I was reminded when I was reading somebody's blog that the most dangerous thing that they did in their country that was in a situation where they didn't have rule of law was to go get water. Because that's where the people would hide out and shoot those getting water. So that's something else to consider. It'd be nice to have water, like we got these water totes here at our house. Or 55-gallon drums, whatever. But here's our control water again. This is the city water out of the faucet. And this is the ditch water. And before I put it into my Berkey, I'm going to pre-filter that, and I'll show you how I do that. I have another 5-gallon bucket that I've taken just a t-shirt. I haven't cut it or anything, it's just a t-shirt, so it's 2 layers thick. These were convenient, so I just grabbed these to hold the t-shirt on there. I'm sure I could use a rope or string or some other method. You can never have too many 5-gallon buckets, is my theory. They always come in handy. So I'm going to take this water here, I'm going to run it through that filter, and I'm going to leave a little bit here in this bucket so we can see if there's a difference in the coloration after we filter it. I don't notice much difference in the color, but for sure the first thing I noticed when I took the t-shirt off is that the water looks a lot cleaner. In other words, not debris floating around into it. That'll help extend the filter on the Berkey and help keep the inside of the container clean where the filters are. Alright, so I pre-filtered it. Now I'm going to go ahead and dump it into the Berkey. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's no water left in the tube. We've emptied that from yesterday, and so now it's time to put in the ditch water. My family keeps asking, what's in the Berkey today? Today it's ditch water, but they've been very happy with the filtration. No matter what kind of water we're putting in there, the Berkey can handle and does a great job filtering. So I'm going to go ahead and put the water in the Berkey right now, and we'll let it set for an hour and then do a taste test. After I poured the water in, I glanced in and I thought, that doesn't look very good. So I thought I'd video it so you can see what it looks like. It doesn't look very appetizing, but let's see what it looks like after it's filtered. It has been approximately an hour since I put the ditch water in the Berkey. One thing I had not anticipated but have noticed is that with the dirtier water, it takes the Berkey longer to filter. I'm very excited to find that out. The reason is because that indicates to me the Berkey is doing a good job. It takes longer to filter dirtier water. That just simply makes sense. It's also something you should keep in mind if you're in a situation where you're having to use ditch water or not very clean water. You need to anticipate it taking longer to filter that water. But the water that I see in this level indicator looks really clean. I anticipate it tasting very good. So we'll give that a taste actually tomorrow when we have a group of people over here and see what they think of the water. Okay, well everybody is gone and we've done our preparedness meeting and they drank the Berkey dry. There is no more water in here. Well, if I tip it I could find some more water. There's probably about a quarter of an inch, maybe half an inch of water down inside of here. This is what it looked like before it drained. This is the top container. You can see all the sediment in there even after I had filtered it through the t-shirt. And this is what it looks like in the filtered portion of the Berkey. You girls want to come over and take a look at and tell me what you think about what's in here and take a smell?
Looks rusted.
What's this?
With the dirt at the bottom.
Looks like palm scum.
Did you drink that?
No.
Okay, so this is what it looks like in the glass. I don't know how well you can see this. This is the untreated, and these are the treated here. So why don't you go ahead and try the treated ones. Tell me what you think.
Tastes like Berkey water.
Refreshing.
Is that good? Dogs approve. That's your cup then.
Excellent. Thanks for your help. Okay, I just got back from the neighbor's house and he gave me 3 gallons of freshly treated swimming pool water. He says, I just treated it. You may not want to put this in your filter. I said, this is exactly what we want. We want the strongest smelling, strongest tasting swimming pool water we can find. I have the Berkey here just to show you that the top is completely empty and the bottom is completely empty. So we're going to run this water through the filter and we're going to see if these black Berkey filters will take care of all the chlorine, smell, and taste coming directly from a freshly treated swimming pool. We'll be back in a few hours with some taste testers here. Okay, here I have my reluctant guinea pig daughter and daughter-in-law one more time testing out water. They're drinking this Berkey filtered swimming pool water that I just explained to you was just treated this evening next door. So this is highly chlorinated, fresh swimming pool water. Go ahead, girls. Give it a try. Tell me what you think.
Tastes like Berkey water.
Tastes clean.
Very good. All right. Okay, this is what started the Berkey filter extreme field test. And this is a 55-gallon drum of water that I've had sitting in my garage for 5 years. I filled this 55-gallon drum with straight tap water. I did not add any chlorine to it or any other additives. I filled it using a garden hose, not a RV water pure hose. And I don't have it sitting on any wood pallets or anything. It's directly on concrete. The only flavor that came from it was the plastic. If you haven't seen my water storage facts and fiction video, please go over and take a look at that. That will show you what I believe is necessary to store safe, drinkable water. The water that we get out of here did have a plastic taste. Someone suggested it may have come from this pump. I thought it came from the barrel. And the question was, will the Berkey remove that plastic taste from the water? So we're going to try that. We've put ditch water in the Berkey, came out great. We put high chlorinated swimming pool water in the Berkey, it came out great. We put rainwater into the Berkey, it came out great. Now we're going to put in 5-year-old untreated tap water and see if it removes the plastic flavor. Okay, we have filtered the 55-gallon 5-year-old water through the Berkey. Let's see what it tastes like. I've got my daughter and Mrs. LDSPrepper here. Let's go ahead and tell me what you think.
Tastes like Berky water.
Tastes like Berkey water.
Alright, there we have it. 5-year-old 55-gallon drum water filtered through the Berkey.
Yay!
Now we can use regular water in our Berkey. Okay, we have put my Berkey through all kinds of extreme tests. We've poured dirty ditch water through it. We've poured rainwater through it. And we even put freshly chlorinated swimming water through it. Every single time we've tested it and the water tastes absolutely great. But we're not done. We have the last test, the final test to let you know how good the Berkey purifies water, and that is the red food color test. Now, why do we use red? We're going to use red food coloring because other colorings may have beneficial minerals in them, like potassium, which would go through the filters. And that's exactly what the Berkey is supposed to do, is let beneficial minerals go through. But the red food coloring does not have any beneficial minerals, and so if we see any red come through into these bottles below the Berkey, we know there's something wrong with the filters and they're not working properly. What I've done is I've taken a brand new bottle of red food coloring, taken a full teaspoon and stirred it into 3 gallons of water. We're going to pour this 3 gallons of water directly into the top of my Berkey here with the 2 black filters. This test can only be performed with the black Berkey filters in the Berkey system because the black filters purify the water and the white filters only filter the water. So the black purify and filter all in one easy, convenient step. So you don't have to worry about purifying or adding chemicals or other things, boiling water after you filter it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in to the Berkey. And we're going to check these bottles down below. Now the reason why I have 2 bottles down here is because we have 2 filters. The water from each filter will come out through these tubes and we'll be able to determine whether one filter, both filters are working properly. So let's go ahead and put the water in. Okay, the Berkey is full of water. You can see it's got the red coloring water in here. And you can see what I love about the Berkey is how fast it filters that water. See how fast that's coming out? It's just running out of here and it's dripping out of here very quickly just as soon as I put that in. The one thing I found with so many other filters, it takes so long to filter the water and then it may or may not even be purified. Here, in a very fast, efficient, effective method, we're filtering and purifying the water. And look at the water coming out. It's absolutely crystal clear. There is absolutely no coloring in that water at all. And take a comparison to the water up here where it looks blood red. In fact, let me get a flashlight so you can see the water in here even better. There's the comparison between the water in the top, definitely dark red, and the perfectly clear, beautiful, pure water coming out of the bottom of the Berkey. So we're going to go ahead and let this run here for just a few minutes to get as much water in the bottles as we can to really test these Berkeys. And one thing that I did is I made sure I put in a full 3 gallons of water, so we're testing the entire filter. We'll be able to find out if there's any problem anywhere in any of these filters, because we have the entire filter submerged under the red food coloring water. We'll be back shortly when the mason jars fill up with water. There you go, faster than you can believe. We've got almost 2 quarts of water, and again, it's still crystal clear. Absolutely amazing. Exactly what you can expect and require from your Berkey water purification system. I could not be happier, nor did I expect anything else from the Berkey water filter and purification system. And that's why we use ours every single day. I can't imagine why we would be drinking fluorinated or chlorinated water when we can be drinking pure, filtered, and purified water for less than 2 cents a gallon through our Berkey system. And if another hurricane comes through, if there's an earthquake, if there's anything that disrupts our water supply, we simply go on using our Berkey like we do every day and drinking pure, filtered water. Please consider all the benefits of having an off-grid water filtration and purification system that you can bet your health on and your family's health on. One that will filter ditch water, swamp water, swimming pool water, rainwater, anything that you'd want to throw at it, and know that you're giving your family perfectly pure and filtered water. This is LDSPrepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. And if you purchase a Berkey water filtration and purification system, you know that your family is getting the best, purest water possible. Make sure you click the links below for the best prices and availability and consumer reviews on the Berkey water filtration system, and get the right one for you and your family.